brother-in-law Virgil to appreciate this story, but since you don't, try to imagine this 300-pound carrot top that tells lousy jokes and goes, sits out in his backyard every Saturday in his Bermuda shorts, playing with his navel, getting tanked up on beer. Long about dark, starts making noises like, you know him, do you? But then good, you'll appreciate this story about how he put me $10,000 in debt for what he fondly referred to as the $300 vacation. Well, Virgil Chenille, yeah, that's my wife's sister's name. Her ma happened to look down at the bedspread while she was in labor and thought Chenille was a pretty name. When my wife was born, the old lady couldn't decide between Polly and Esther, so she named her Dacron. Virgil Chenille and them 5 heathen youngins come over the other night, and Virgil hit us with his big holiday idea.
You and us gonna all load up and go to Washington, D.C. Go see the Capitol, the Washington Monument, the Washington Redskins, and the 8 bookstores. Yeah!
Virgil, boy, that's fine for you, but I ain't got the green stamps to go to no Washington, D.C. and see no 8 bookstores.
Ain't gonna cost us but $300. Gonna buy some old school bus, fix it up for sleeping, eating, and plumbing, and we gone. Yeah!
Well, next day, me and Virgil took off to eyeball this $250 school bus he found. Hey, Virgil, that'd be all right. I ain't seen a Rio since the Second World War. We filled up the crankcase with 70-weight motor oil, stopped by Goodwill, and give them all the seats and $50 for 4 bunk beds and a set of Sea Rock City salt and pepper shakers. This $300 vacation had done cost us $300, and we was still 6 weeks from leaving town. Virgil hadn't paid me his half, said he'd have to wait cause the dog ate his checkbook. Virgil said he'd put in the plumbing in the bus if I'd get the refrigerator. I wound up paying $682 for one of them fancy camping freezers. Virgil's idea of plumbing turned out to be a $2 thermos bottle, an enema bag with a shower nozzle, and an antique slop bucket.
Hey, we having us some fun? Whoa!
Well, there we was, ready to leave. 4 adults, 7 youngins, and Virgil's hound dog. Virgil, boy, you didn't tell me you was bringing the dog that ate the checkbook.
Can't leave her at home cause she's in heat, but she won't be no trouble.
Virgil painted the Rio bus white with big red and blue letters down both sides, said going to Washington, all one word, GOUNTAWARSHNUN. This $300 vacation had now cost $1,776, but we was finally pulling out of the driveway when the motor fell out of the Rio, and Virgil suggested that we take advantage of the bicentennial family plan discount and fly.
Get that old airplane and we gone. Whoa!
When we got to that Washington airport, right there was a sign said Benedict Arnold Motel, convenient, economical, and we accept payouts, so we took it. Turned out to be in a nearby suburb known as Baltimore, 60 miles from Washington and $40 a head.
Be sure to keep up with what I owe you.
A $26 taxi ride let us off Square Ave in front of the Watergate Hotel, and Virgil said,
Sure, Watergate's where half Washington got let off.
He wrote it down on the dog's ear because he thought it was so funny.
Ain't that funny? Whoa!
And he put a slap on my back and sent me straight towards the Washington Monument, so we all got in line 14 blocks away while Virgil took off to the nearest adult bookstore. When we got to the front of the line, they gave us a little card that told us when we could see the monument. It said your appointment is for 5 p.m. December 12, 1977. About that time we heard a familiar looked up and there was Virgil at the top window of that monument. Met somebody at the adult bookstore with important connections. Then on to the Capitol where we was fined $500 when Virgil's oldest boy drew a mustache on Alexander Hamilton. Of course, that was nothing compared to the $5,000 fine when Virgil's youngest boy smashed the glass protecting our nation's most cherished documents, and the dog ate the last 9 words of the Bill of Rights. Total cost of that $300 vacation came to $10,219.76. When I asked Virgil for his half, he said I'd have to wait because the trip made him feel so patriotic that he went right out and bought a new Lincoln.
We did go a little over budget, but it was still a heck of a trip for somewhere around $300. Woo!